My name is Juffles, and I have Teebs on here with me as well. He is the other half of the Fortune Tellers.
Hello.
And we're going to be doing our pilot episode today, reviewing Raw and SmackDown for December 17th and 18th, 2018, and also another topic as well regarding wrestling video games. So if you're interested in that, just sit back and relax, and we'll go ahead and review the first Raw and SmackDown of the new era, I would say.
Yeah, new, quote unquote.
All right, so I guess we'll just start from the beginning where we have Raw. We have the Vince McMahon comes out. He does, comes out to. I would say he got cheered pretty well, which I was surprised about.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed about that because, like, he's the root cause of why the show's like bad, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of impossible to boo him though, because he kind of feeds off that crap. Where he loves to
Yeah.
be the bad guy.
Well, he got booed like in the ring after he like egged them on and everything.
Oh yeah, because he said something like he was like, "Oh, you gonna boo me?" or something like that.
Yeah, he goes. Raw's been on the air for 25 years, and one of the reasons for their success is that they change with the times, and that he can't do it by himself anymore. And then, like immediately after, like he says, "But I can do it without you," like to the fans.
Yeah, that's kind of a mixed message too, because it's like, is he trying to be the good guy? Because later in the segment when he's talking about it's all about you guys now,
Yeah,
he's being a good guy, and it's not really kind of matching up with how he was acting in the beginning.
right.
Yeah. And then of course, the first thing he does is bring out Stephanie, and everybody hated that.
And then he
Uh,
brought out Triple H and then Shane, and Triple
yeah,
H said we're the authority now. So it kind of contradicts like exactly what Vince said just like a minute ago.
yeah. I mean, and that's exactly what everybody wants is the return of the authority. So, um, I'm
No,
excited
no,
for that.
we're the authority.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, the fans are the authority now. Yeah. So I don't know. What I really did love about this segment though is just how much they got people to boo Baron Corbin though. That was really nice. It's good to see actually a wrestler on the roster, and I understand it's for the wrong reasons, but
Right.
it's good to see actual wrestler have heat, not just you know a booking decision or. And I guess this is kind of like a symptom of the booking decision, but
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't. Yeah, but I'm reading off my notes here. My second thing that I wrote is right off the bat, the McMahons are taking the spotlight.
Yeah, the show's about them now again.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be, are we going to have Shane on Raw every week along with SmackDown? Doesn't
I don't
seem fair
know.
to Stephanie, right? I mean, because Shane's supposed to be running SmackDown only.
That just sounds like hell to me, to be honest.
I thought the segment dragged on too, because like I understand they were getting the booze for Corbin and getting into
Right.
it,
I
but I
thought it
feel
went
like
on for like forever after Corbin came out.
yeah, and then with Triple H going, I don't know if I can hear you guys, and like while that's fun if
Yeah.
you're in the crowd, um, watching it on TV is absolutely terrible.
It just felt like filler.
Yeah. I mean, when you
After a
got a
while.
3-hour show, to film.
I actually want to take it back a little bit before Corbin came out to bring up something. Triple H says we're the authority, of course, and then, oddly enough, before that, Stephanie admits that they never listened to us, and like,
Oh yeah, that's true, because they were like,
just a couple months ago, she was doing some event, or like she was doing some, I don't know, I don't want to call it a lecture or anything, but she was doing some like event where she was getting up on stage and speaking about companies and blah blah blah, and she said that, I'm just paraphrasing, but she said something like, the reason WWE has been around and popular for so long is because we did what everyone else didn't. We listened to the fans. And here she is just a couple months later admitting that in fact was not true. And then,
Do you think just a really quick question? Do you think if Roman Reigns was still wrestling and around right now, they'd be doing this?
Probably not, because that kind of, I don't know. I think this probably forced them to do this.
I think the problem is because they didn't have a plan B for Roman Reigns. They had him, and it was him. And then, like, it's unfortunate what happened, but they didn't have anybody built up, which kind of, I mean, except for Braun Strowman, but
they put all of their eggs into one basket, like all of them.
Yeah.
And
I mean, like, you would think they would have learned their lesson from what happened before WrestleMania 32 with Seth Rollins, because he was the show.
Right.
Prior to that, got injured. Yeah. Okay, and then
they said that this is just a quick thing. They said that we're taking the show back. Well, first of all, back from whom? And second of all, I wish they would take back the Universal title, but that's the real thing that needed to be taken back.
Oh my goodness, I was waiting for them to take the title off of Becky when she got hurt, and then it's a good thing they didn't, because then they would have an absolute nightmare on their hands. I really hope that they realize what a logjam it's created on Raw, because the top title is the Intercontinental title, and we'll get into it later, my problems with the Intercontinental Champion right now. But the top title is the Intercontinental title, and I don't think on any show that should be the truth. I don't think.
Right. Even with how prestigious it is, it doesn't matter. It's not
exactly.
It's not the top title, but I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of funny that Roman had to give up the championship because he couldn't wrestle, because he has cancer. But like, Brock doesn't wrestle, and I don't know. Right. He doesn't give up the title.
Healthy.
He never shows up, so I guess I don't know. Whatever.
And then my next thing was during this segment, I thought, and I was really hoping that Triple H or Vince, probably Vince, because that's his thing, was going to hire Corbin immediately, get that quick heat, and then immediately fire him.
Oh, okay. I was expecting. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All right. I was just expecting Triple H to like pedigree him, like on the spot, and then Vince to like fire him.
Yeah, I think like, because then you would get the pop of everyone wants to see Vince say you're fired. So like,
right,
you get that pop, and then you'd also get to humiliate Corbin, which we'll get to as well. I'm actually really glad to see Heath Slater get some time on air with Vince McMahon.
Right, that's kind of funny, to be honest. When his music hit, like, he actually got kind of a decent reaction from the crowd. But
oh yeah, and I honestly like has there been anybody who's been more of a company man than Heath Slater?
Yeah, like maybe Kurt Hawkins.
Kurt Hawkins, yeah, but I mean, he went away for a while. Heath Slater's been there since the Nexus.
That's true.
So like, he's been there on Superstars and Main Event and doing jobs, and you got a tag title run out of it.
Comedy, spots, and
well, that's the thing. Like, you get a comedy, comedy gimmick, and even if you leave WWE, as long as you're not sexting 16-year-old girls, you have a job.
Well, see, the thing is, I never thought, even before all that Ellsworth controversy, I never thought he was entertaining. At least Heath was like funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought Ellsworth was great, but I'm shit. So
subjectivity. It's all right.
All right, and then what happens is they call down Kurt Angle, and they say if Baron Corbin beats Kurt Angle, then he's the general manager. So then they have Kurt Angle come out. And before we get to what happens during the match in terms of the Authority coming out, but I thought that Angle seemed sluggish and slow.
Oh, he needs to. I don't know. He needs to stop wrestling. First of all, every time he hits a German suplex, it just I feel like he's gonna land badly, even though it's like the easiest freaking thing to do in the world. Yeah. I just feel like it. I don't know. I get worried when he's in there sometimes.
Yeah, and what I noticed, I mean, it doesn't help the fact I noticed that Baron Corbin cannot take a German suplex for his life. Every time he landed on his shoulder, and I'm like worried like that he's going to separate something because number one, Angle's not the way he used to be, and the the way that Corbin's taking these suplexes. Plus, the ring attire for Baron Corbin. It was great for the novelty for the first couple times, and now it reminds me of Corporate King.
Right. Hopefully he gets rid of it now since he's not the.
I hope so. I mean, I thought the Constable gimmick had potential. I don't know. I've told you before. I thought that was.
I actually liked the Constable gimmick when it first started, but then it just kept going and it just was annoying after a while.
And then so then in the middle of this match, who comes out first? I think is it Triple H who comes out first?
I think Triple H came out first, and then Shane came out later.
Yeah, so Triple H comes out and he says, this match is now a handicap match," and he pulls out Apollo Crews and then Gable and Rude. Now what I'm going to say is Gable and Rude look like $1 million with those robes.
Oh yeah, and that's Gable's new gear. He's not wearing the singlet anymore.
Yeah, and I think he looks phenomenal with with Bobby Roode, and I hope that they get opportunity to actually show what they can do. I know they're the tag team champions, but they've really been an afterthought.
Pretty much. Yeah. Even they didn't protect AOP that great when they were tag champs, so.
Yeah. I mean, you see how AOP lost the title over, a comedy,
It was a fluke win, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. So then we have those guys come in. They all beat up on Corbin. And then Shane comes out and he says that there's going to be a no disqualification match. So basically everyone can jump in and, I don't understand what the reasoning behind that was because Heath was, the referee, so he was looking away on purpose, which I thought was great. But yeah, I mean, I guess it was just show that, Corbin's getting his comeuppance.
Right.
I don't think you can bury someone as hard as Baron Corbin's been buried.
Well, that was like within the terms of I guess every burial is within storyline, but I don't know. I feel like they scapegoated Corbin a little bit.
Yeah, and I don't know where you go from here for him because later in the night, and when he speaks to Seth Rollins and he gets punched in the face, that's just even more shit. That I'm wondering if they're just going to give him a couple months or a couple weeks to just be off of TV, because you can't do anything with him right now.
Right.
He's kind of, like you said, he's the scapegoat. And then after that, Angle wins. He hits the Angle slam and he picks up the win. And
they destroy him with chairs, and then they destroy him with chairs. Just keeps going after him, and then Angle puts him through a table and wins. And Baron Corbin was so hated that he was put in a 5-on-1, whatever it was, 5-on-1 handicap match, no DQ, where he got destroyed by chairs. That this didn't make him a babyface.
Oh yeah.
He's so hated. This didn't make him a good guy because they totally fucked him over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he is the face of what Raw was before with the terrible
the heat.
Yeah,
I actually like the idea that all of the people that he screwed over came together and got their revenge.
Now, guys. Now. Admittedly, I haven't been watching Raw as much as I probably should have recently. But what did he do to Apollo Crews? Because I know what he did to Gable and he fucked over Gable and Rude and obviously hurt Angle. But
I don't know. I think it was just the fact that's actually a good question because I've been watching Raw every week and I don't know. He came out a few weeks ago to help Finn win a match. Or he came out to even the odds or whatever against Jinder.
Oh, okay.
So I guess it was just the thought of the smaller faces are coming together to just I guess they've had enough or whatever. I don't know, because I don't remember any instance where Apollo specifically got like canned or whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I don't know, maybe they're just pushing him.
That was the end of the opening segment and the opening match, I believe. And then they come back from commercial, I believe, with John Cena, where he got the award.
Yeah,
I just want to give
a legacy award.
Yeah, yes, and I believe, like, I want to give, like, just like a moment just to talk about John Cena for a second, because I know a lot of people shit on John Cena just because of the way he handled a lot of things like the Nexus and other, basically it was him and Orton for like 5 straight years.
Right.
But like, I cannot fathom John Cena entering an arena in 2018 and being booed. Like, I mean, I understand like what John Cena represents in terms of, marrying young talent and being, lol Cena wins.
Right.
But that's not 2018 John Cena. And I think the problem is that, we give a lot of these older wrestlers the props and the benefit of the doubt that they deserve because they are put in their time. And I think that it's about time that the wrestling community as a whole affords that to John Cena.
I agree, because he's actually not even just this year, but he's actually done a good job of elevating, like, and I mean, I guess I can't say smaller guys, because there's not really any small guys anymore, because everyone's kind of over in their own way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, the thought, like, you can think about like when he came back to wrestle and he was wrestling AJ Styles, and how well he prepared himself. Because think about it, he came back with moves that he has never hit before. Back when he, and that with Kevin Owens too. Remember when they first brought up KO?
Right.
And he gave Owens the rub, and he did his job. And I think that, like, there are a lot of jaded wrestling fans because John Cena represented a very low point in their wrestling fandom. But I think, you look at, what wrestlers, because you can look back on the 90s and look at Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock and say those two wrestlers define that time. You can look back on the 80s and look at Hulk Hogan and Macho Man, and you can say those two wrestlers defined the times. I think if you look back, you can look back at John Cena, and I think there's a giant gap after John Cena as who defined that time, because it's always somebody else. It was Cena Punk, Cena Orton, Cena Nexus, if you want to go that far. But like, Cena was always a number one.
I actually think, I just thought about this, like, people always crapped on Cena for like being a bad wrestler, but like, first of all, I don't even think he was a bad wrestler. I just thought he was kind of average, but he was an average wrestler that like was capable of having amazing matches too. But he was like, obviously the Cena sucks, let's go Cena chants are very like prominent whenever he comes out. And I don't know. I feel like I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for this, but if you look at Hulk Hogan, like, he was ridiculously huge and like the biggest babyface of all time. And if you really watch his matches, he really wasn't that good. You know what I mean?
He was terrible.
He wasn't that good at all in wrestling. He was a great character. He's one of the greatest,
I think like, Hulk Hogan is one of the best storytellers in the ring.
Right.
He just, like, he doesn't have the moves. Like, but back then you didn't need the moves.
Right, exactly.
Storytelling was what you needed.
And even like when John Cena was coming up, like, I don't know. I feel like the times when fans started caring more about like
wrestling.
I mean, everybody's always care about wrestling, but like to the point where, people are kind of like dickish about it. Like, it's impossible to have a great match if you don't do like spots and like shit like that. But even before that trend, people were still booing Cena and everything. And I don't know. I really don't get it. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, I guess I'm a little bit biased because I grew up and I was the little Jimmy. I loved Cena.
Right.
But he was my first ever like man. Like he, you know, back when he was Doctor of Thugonomics, he was, you know, I loved him, you know, when I was that age. But you know, it was. I feel like even if you can't get behind Cena the wrestler, you can 100% get behind Cena the man.
I agree.
So just wanted to put a little spot for John Cena because who knows when we're going to get to talk about him again.
Right.
Okay, so then after that, it was Finn Balor versus Dolph Ziggler. I have a note written down here. The moment this match started, I wrote, "I guarantee Drew McIntyre interferes."
Well, he interfered all right, and
yeah, he did. And then
the first match of the new era, as you said, was ended in a DQ, which kind of seems odd.
That's a weird juxtaposition because I'm thinking to myself, like, that's the first thing that.
Yeah, don't you want to start off the new era with like an awesome freaking banger of a match? Even though there weren't very many of those tonight, I guess. But
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. Yeah, there wasn't really much except for the women's gauntlet, but obviously that was going on last.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that like, and the thing is I was watching this match and I could not get into it because I knew what was going to happen. I was just waiting for Drew McIntyre, and they kind of spoiled his entrance because I don't know if you were watching when they put the hard camera on Dolph. You can see Drew walking down.
Really?
Yeah, I was watching it. And well, at first, what happened was obviously the crowd started perking up like they do whenever.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, that's true.
So, like, you know, you're telegraphing it that way, but you know, you can't control the crowd. But what you can control is your camera looking at Dolph Ziggler in the corner with the ramp behind him with Drew McIntyre coming in, and then having Michael Cole and Renee Young act like it's crazy that Drew McIntyre is even there,
or that they probably couldn't see him in the first place, but they obviously like could see the crowd and
they have monitors
and they have yeah. And actually, I thought this was kind of funny. I don't know, it doesn't really make much of a difference, but Drew came out and then Dolph and Drew were like brawling outside the ring, but Drew technically, I mean, Finn Balor won this match by DQ because Drew attacked Finn, but outside the ring when they were like brawling, quote unquote, they weren't really brawling. It was just Ziggler attacking Drew. So technically Drew didn't land a punch for it to end in a DQ in his favor, but he did push him into the apron, which did not result in a DQ.
I actually forgot about that. Yeah, I remember that.
He pushed him into the apron, and then Finn did a tope onto him, and then he came in and kicked him.
Yeah. That was weird because McIntyre had his arms around like the waist of Ziggler, and the ref is looking right at it. Like,
yeah, I thought when that first happened, I thought, oh, this ref is being kind of lenient. He doesn't want this match to end that way. But then he comes in and just gets demolished, Finn.
And you know what? Even if that happens, if you want to prove it's a new era, have Shane, have Triple H, have somebody come out and say that's not how it's going to work.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. New era.
What a new era!
And they said this. Dude, they said this during the Roman Reigns AJ Styles match in 2016 at Payback. You remember that when they did the spots where somebody got low blowed or something on accident, so it ended in a DQ, and then Shane came out. Or what was it? It was like a double count out first or something like that. And
yeah, I remember that.
So I don't know why they couldn't do that for this. I guess the match isn't important enough. I don't know.
It's not a championship match. Yeah, but yeah, that seemed kind of dumb to me. And even if you were gonna do this, like do a DQ, finish it, like obviously you're not gonna have every Raw end without a DQ finish forever. But if you're gonna do this, put it a little bit lower on the card.
Right. Don't have it be the first match.
Exactly. Not even the first match, but the first thing. Like it was like they had the John Cena thing, and that was like what 5 minutes that they did. They didn't even do 5 minutes. So it was like 3 minutes.
Actually, the first match was Corbin getting destroyed, but that's different because that's kind of like a
storyline.
Yeah, that's a fluke, hokey, heel getting screwed moment.
Yeah. Also, after this match was that when Shane's being interviewed, and then they have Drake Maverick and the AOP come up.
I think that. I don't know. I think.
I'm gonna put it here just in case, because I mean, like, I unfortunately stopped taking notes halfway through.
Okay.
But
I think that might have been later, but it doesn't really matter where it was.
Yeah, all I know it was before the Fatal 4-Way. But so then we have Drake Maverick comes up and Shane McMahon's doing an interview, giving his BS, we're gonna opportunity and stuff like that.
His favorite word.
Yeah. And then Drake Maverick comes up and he states, he's like, AOP deserved their rematch clause. And then I'm wondering if this is true or if this is just in this instance. But Shane says something along the lines of, we don't do rematch clauses anymore. That's an antiquated thing. And but then he qualifies that by saying, because you guys won the title in such an easy way, that's why you're not getting a rematch. You're getting an opportunity. Now, does that mean that there's no rematch clauses now at all? Or is that just no rematch clause for AOP?
I hope it means like for everyone.
Because I think that the rematch should only happen if it makes sense,
Right. I hope it means like there's no more rematches, automatic rematches in general, because I don't know. I don't know. It does kind of seem. I didn't even think about it that way, because I just thought, oh, he means there's no more rematch clauses in general. But
yeah, I kind of hope that that's what he means. But that they're going to have Seth versus Dean too.
Well, hold on. Let's go back a little bit, because Shane said that Corbin pretty much handed them the titles, but like that's not true, because if you remember, I mean,
it's not AOP's fault that Dean Ambrose turned on Seth.
I know it's not his fault that Seth was like 2-on-1, right? If I remember correctly, I don't know. Maybe Corbin scheduled the match on purpose because of that, before Seth could like get a new partner or whatever. But it's been a while since that episode. I can't remember exactly how it went down, but
yeah. Okay. All right. So then we'll go to the next thing here. I think the next thing was Dean Ambrose coming out.
Yeah, I thought he cut a pretty good promo from this, talking about how Seth was his reputation's on the line, and he's calling him out, and he's not doing anything. And
now, the Raw was in Sacramento this week, and I actually listened. I don't know if you listened to Going in Raw. They're a podcast. Does WWE stuff. They live in Sacramento, and they went to the show, and apparently everybody in the arena knew that Seth was one of the guys as soon as he walked out.
Really?
Yeah, apparently it was like the way he was walking, his stance, just the way he was. Everybody knew it was already Seth.
Well, I thought it was Seth.
Oh, really?
I thought one of them for sure was gonna. I was like, "There's no way," because why would they have? If you're gonna have a brigade of like people with masks and stuff, wouldn't they be all lined up towards the ramp? I don't know. Like they were all around the ring, like they were the Nexus, like just surrounding the ring, like they were druids from freaking
Undertaker.
Yeah. I thought for sure one of them was going to be Seth, because when he wasn't coming out, I thought one of them is Seth. That's why he's not coming out.
Oh, okay. I thought what was going to happen is Seth was going to, and this was actually a good idea. Somebody was like, what if Seth costs Dean the title, and then next week on the Raw, on the Christmas Eve Raw that they taped after,
right?
They have Dean absolutely brutalize Tyler Breeze.
I thought that would have been funny if Seth actually cost Dean the title to Tyler Breeze. See, that would have been change. That would have been signs of a new era. Having right out the gate a freaking Tyler Breeze win the title after doing nothing.
And I agree. Actually, that is actually a really good idea, because you don't have to have Tyler Breeze hold the title long. And what it does is it pops the ratings. People go crazy. They go, "Did you see this? Tyler Breeze won the Intercontinental Championship." And then next week you give Dean a reason to become that brutal character that he can be. because he got screwed over by Seth, he's going to make an example of Tyler Breeze. You know,
possibly, and maybe that could have happened because wasn't it speculated that after that very what's the word I'm looking for? Very underwhelming match between very underwhelming match between Dean and Seth at TLC. Wasn't it speculated that Vince was mad? Like, wasn't he furious backstage or something because of that? Because they got This Is Boring chance.
I know Seth was upset because they interviewed him, and I can't remember if it was on TLC or if it was on Raw. And they interviewed him, and he was talking about how he felt take responsibility for.
Yeah, that was on Raw.
Okay. Yeah. Because that was later on with Corbin and all that.
Right.
Yeah. So I know Seth took it to heart, and I hate to say this. Okay, and now we're to the point where I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant right now. My favorite wrestler in the WWE is Dean Ambrose. He is my favorite. I love him. I've loved him since I've started watching wrestling again. I loved him in the Shield. I thought he was the most charismatic of the three in the Shield. I loved him when he was out of the Shield. I liked the lunatic gimmick, even though he was a little bit crazy and a little bit wacky and a little bit too funny. But honestly, ever since he's come back from this injury that he had, he seems like he doesn't give a shit. He just seems like he does not want to be there. He seems like he doesn't want to wrestle. He walks out and he just doesn't look like he's interested at all. I don't know if you feel the same way about that.
I feel like exactly the same way because when he returned, I thought his heel turn when he turned on Seth the night they won the tag titles was done great. I loved it. I thought, wow, perfect timing. People are going to get so mad that he turned the night Roman announced he's got to leave because of cancer, I thought people got mad about that. I thought it just added to the experience, to the turn, because that is heel heat, like turning the night one of your brothers gets or announces he has cancer, say what you want about it, but I thought it was done great. And ever since once he started talking and doing promos and getting shots and just dumb.
A lot of people likened it to when Charlotte and Paige, remember when they had their feud?
Oh, the David Flair comment.
Reed Flair.
Oh, Reed Flair. Sorry.
Yeah. And so they liken it to that, but there's a big difference. Number one, Roman Reigns is alive. Number two, Roman Reigns is an employee of the WWE. Number three, I doubt they would have put Roman's name in anyone's mouth if he did not feel comfortable with it.
I agree partly because I think when Paige made that comment about Reed Flair, I'm not sure that Rick and Charlotte were briefed about it. I'm not sure they even knew about it. So
well, that's what I meant. I meant that comment that Paige made was obviously off limits and not good.
Okay.
The comment the way that they were handling Dean and Seth with Roman in the middle, I think that's completely fine because I'm sure that if anybody, if Roman Reigns, especially because Roman's standing in the company.
He's probably there at the shows. I don't know, but I would just guess.
If he's getting treatment or not or something like that. Right. But, honestly, if Roman Reigns was not okay with it, they would not have done that. I 100% believe that.
It's kind of like the Natalya and Ruby Riott feud with them talking about Jim Neidhart and I don't know. I just think they really mishandled Dean Ambrose after his turn. They had gold and people in the crowd, if you watch them, were legit. When's the last time, just an offhanded question, when's the last time a crowd was ever legitimately shocked about anything? You know what I mean?
I would say before the Dean and Seth turn, I would say probably Brock and Goldberg at Survivor Series.
Yeah, that's 2 years. It doesn't happen very often, Yeah,
and it got lightning in a bottle, and they just decided to fucking have team get a vaccination in the ass.
The ass. Yeah, he wasn't the only one who took it in the ass. Let me tell you, because, well, whatever. We can. I don't know. I think we can probably talk about the match now.
Okay, yes. So
get too far on this.
I fast forwarded through a lot of this match because I noticed how long Dean Ambrose had Tyler Breeze in a headlock.
Yeah,
that headlock lasted literally my entire high school graduation. like you think Randy Orton has long headlocks? My God.
Well, he had long headlocks during the TLC match against Seth. Like that was boring. You know.
I mean, like we know Dean Ambrose can be a good wrestler. It's just like he's, like I said, it feels like he's not trying.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I just can't bring myself to believe that this is Dean's, like, I don't want to say the word fault, but this is Dean's like doing. They've got to be telling him to like go out there and I don't know. They got to be telling him to go out there and do this because
like remember how over Kevin Owens was when he headbutted Vince McMahon and he was attacking the entire McMahon family basically.
Yeah.
Why not do that stuff with Dean and have him just do it to Seth and Seth's friends? Like I don't even know what you can do. Like, I mean, obviously you can't go after Roman because, like, well, that's a no-no. But like, you know, we know for a fact that like Seth has had a few people that he's teamed up with. Like even if you can just have an angle where Jason Jordan's there for a moment and he makes up with Seth, and then Dean decides, like, because even if Jason Jordan's not going to wrestle, why not just put, you know, or maybe have it that like Dean's that jilted ex-best friend, you know, or
maybe
something like that. Yeah, but
Dean's pretty much just like a nothing. Dean, with his unlimited potential, is just like nothing to me right now.
And like I said, he's my favorite wrestler, and I love him. But you know what? And I'm probably gonna get a lot of shit for this. I want Roman Reigns back.
Oh no, I do too. After this show was bad with Roman Reigns, like through no fault of his own, obviously. It's through no fault of the talent in general. But like once he left, this show seriously fell off a cliff, and they had nobody established in.
And you know what the problem is that they could have had gold. I mean, they could have gone with Braun Strowman at, you know, Saudi Arabia Crown Jewel.
Yeah, and he won the Royal Rumble previously there.
Yeah. Why not create like I mean, obviously Saudi Arabia has their own problems, but you know, why not just create like that buzz around Braun Strowman? Like, think about how big Braun Strowman would be in Saudi Arabia if he won both main events of both of their events.
Yeah, wouldn't he? Yeah, didn't he do like PR work over there too?
I'm sure he did. Braun,
or was that India? Was that India or was that Saudi Arabia? I can't even remember.
No, you're asking the wrong guy. All right, and then so then after that, yeah. So Dean wins. He kicked out of a beauty shot.
He didn't even kick out of it. I saw him take the beauty shot, and then he like got up on his knees, and I was like, wait, didn't he just get hit with his finish with Tyler Breeze?
No, what happened was Tyler Breeze hit him with the beauty shot and didn't go for the cover. He went to the top rope.
Right. Yeah, that was odd. He went to the top rope, but then he hit a crossbody, and then he tried to hit the unprettier, and then it was just like an anticlimactic finish at that point.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, I mean, you can't have Tyler Breeze go over Dean Ambrose. I mean, it would have been a great moment to pop the crowd, but you're going to tell me that Tyler Breeze is the top champion on Raw?
Right. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Unless they actually had plans of having Brock lose.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen. He's going to keep that title until at least Mania. So.
All right. So then after that, Dean gets back on the mic, starts trash talking, saying, "Oh yeah, you see what I'm doing, Seth? You know, I'm a real champion, real man." And obviously, we all know what happens. Burn It Down hits, and then Dean's telling all the guys to go towards the ramp. And you know, the moment that any heel starts to tell his men to go towards the ramp, that he is getting blindsided.
Yeah, you think he would see that coming. You know, he's watched wrestling all these years.
Exactly, right? And then, so Seth was one of the guys, one of the ski mask guys all along. or gas mask guys. He attacks Dean. Dean kind of snakes himself away, and Seth takes care of the rest of the guys, and Seth stands tall. So
that was that. And then after that, that's when the Shane McMahon interview was, by the way. So
all right. Okay, yeah. So then they're gonna have a fatal 4-way tag team match with.
For before that, they announced that they were gonna have NXT call-ups, like a bunch of them.
That's right. Yeah. So it's Lars Sullivan, Heavy Machinery, Lacey Evans, Nikki Cross, and EC3.
Oh man, I mean, I don't want to be like, I don't want to beat a dead horse or anything, and sound like everyone else, but I don't know if I have confidence in them still with NXT calls.
The only one that I can see them not screwing up is EC3.
Oh, really? The only one I can see them not screwing up is Lars, just because he's a monster. But then again, they've kind of made Braun a nothing anymore. Mm-hmm. I mean, well, after Braun lost at Crown Jewel, I was like, all right, I don't care about him anymore. Sadly, and I love Braun, but
I think the issue is that like they want us to feel like Braun Strowman is the biggest, most powerful wrestler ever, but then he can never win the title.
Yeah, he's lost the title he's lost the big match 4 times now.
He reminds me of a male Nia Jax.
Well, Nia won the title though.
Yeah, but remember how long it took her to do it though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know, how many times did she have a match against Alexa Bliss, or how many times has she tapped out Nia Jax?
Yeah, she tapped out a couple times.
Yeah. All right. So then after that, they announced the Fatal 4-Way. It's going to be Lucha House Party versus Revival versus AOP versus the B Team. Whoever wins gets to face Gable and Rude at next week's Raw, taped right afterwards.
Right.
So then after that, though, if they announced that, I believe it was the Lashley and Lio Rush.
Yeah, if they're serious about this new era stuff, they've got to stop with these never-ending feuds that nobody cares about. You know, and I love Elias, but there's nothing that they can do in this feud that makes me care remotely.
Yeah, and the thing is that I'm happy that the crowd's behind Elias, and you know me, I'm not a huge Elias fan,
right?
But I don't realistically look at Lashley and look at Elias and think that Elias has even an iota of a chance. Just that look test. Obviously, like that. Maybe I got my Vince McMahon goggles on, but just looking at Lashley and just how gigantic he is, and then Elias is ripped, but he's not Lashley,
right?
I can see like a Rey Mysterio beating a Lashley because you can feasibly think he can outmaneuver him.
He's established,
yeah, and Elias isn't quick, so. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where this.
I think they just got to stop. And Elias won on TLC in that ladder match, but then he got beat down, he got destroyed. So why didn't they just actually win?
The best part of this segment was when JoJo goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, Elias," and he's standing behind.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Smacks him. I busted out laughing at that. I thought that was the best thing that this feud's done, was that part, because it was just perfect and comedically timed, and amazing.
And then Elias laid him out with the guitar, and
see, Lashley didn't really sell that guitar though.
Yeah, he just shrugged it off, and then Elias left, and that's that. I guess. Yeah. I guess they're gonna fight more. Yeah.
All right, and then what was after that? That's where my notes end. So.
This was. They announced Sami Zayn to return. They gave his video package.
Oh my God, I can't wait. I miss Sami.
As long as they don't see, Sami and Kevin are hilarious together. They're actually funny comedy. They're the type of. I mean, they should still be taken seriously and be top contenders and actual I don't know. I don't want to. I'm not making this comparison completely because it's obviously they're not as established, obviously. But like, if you think about DX when they first were a thing, they were like hilarious and comedy. But when they really needed to beat a guy's ass, like they like went all out and they shit all over people, you know, like with effectiveness, you know. So
Yeah.
I hope that if they're gonna continue the Kevin and Sammy show with like them being comedic and funny, I hope they're at least more dominant and, you know, cool and like actually effective and not just losers that are comedic, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, they could go one or two ways with them, and I hope it's the first way, like you said with DX. But then the other part of me thinks, what if they try to make them the second New Day?
Really?
I mean, obviously the New Day are out there, but I mean, like, when's the last time New Day were serious? Can you remember? Like,
they have moments where they like actually cut a serious promo, like against the Usos, you know, where they were like,
yeah, but I mean, like, the thing is that like how and you know, obviously this is getting to SmackDown because this is a New Day, but how many times have the New Day lost recently and just shrugged it off? Like, they don't seem like they're visibly affected by losing streaks. Like, they just don't seem like they're serious. Whereas like the Usos came out on SmackDown, like we're going to talk about later, and they were pissed. They were pissed off.
They came out and like were like, we want a chance again, and
yeah.
I don't know. I think
a New Day, but I mean, like I just feel like, you know, they're basically just toy pushers now.
I think they've kind of this pancake thing, you know.
Oh my god, it's gone.
The pancakes. I don't know. We can talk about that later. Yeah. Whatever. We're getting whatever. We gotta get into.
Let's just keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. It was this match was the Fatal 4 tag with AOP, Lucha House Party, the B Team, and the Revival. And I thought even the way they treated the Revival recently, I thought there's no way they lose this match once it starts.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of felt like the Revival was going to win. And I remember texting you, but I said to you, I was like, if they get in the ring and I hear this match is now Lucha House Party.
I thought that same thing. I thought if these fuckers do this one more time. Yeah,
because I thought for sure we were going to get a Lucha House Party rules match. And I was just gonna turn off the TV at that point.
I'm glad they didn't, because I mean, I guess I think they probably thought, yeah, we're not gonna do that anymore when Seth came out and like buried it, you know. So aren't they technically like faces now? Seth came out a couple weeks ago and cut that promo shooting on Raw, you know, talking about how they have the Revival who's great and they're being put in Lucha House rules matches, and like, didn't they kind of I mean, I'm exaggerating, obviously, but didn't he technically like turn them by saying that? And didn't he double turn them? Because Lucha House Party are supposed to be faces, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. And the thing that made me absolutely batty is that the announcers, like Renee and Michael Cole, who were supposed to be the face announcers, who they're laughing and joking and saying how great of a thing the Lucha House Party rules are and how fun it is. Meanwhile, Corey Graves, who's your heel announcer, is absolutely correct in saying this is a travesty, this is unfair, this is, you know, a sham to tag team wrestling, and he's right.
Well, it's funny because it's like the most backwards ass thing ever, because you're supposed to, within the realms of the show, Lucha House Party are face and Revival are heel. Therefore, Lucha House Rules is fine because Lucha House Party is face. But it's like, it's the dumbest dynamic ever, you know? Like, it's dumb. The faces are fucking the heels. The handicap in favor of them. And then not to mention the fact that after that, like, after they got rid of the freaking Lucha House Rules, like, they just never brought it up again, the commentary, you know? Like, they're just act like it never happened, and which, I mean, thankfully, but
yeah. I mean, it reminds me, I don't remember if you remember SmackDown versus Raw with Better Than Utopia. You remember that? Better Than Utopia rules.
Oh, that sounds familiar. Who?
It was MVP, Umaga, and William Regal, and it was during the John Cena Road to WrestleMania storyline. And
Wow.
in order for you to get pinned, you had to get pinned to 3. In order to pin them, it had to be to 5. And you could get counted out and disqualified, but they couldn't.
Oh, dude, I forgot about that. That's funny. That's what they should have done. You know,
Right?
that would have made more sense.
Yeah. All right. So the next part. Oh, so yeah, the Revival wins that match. I think it was a pretty good match. It was a pretty standard like fatal 4-way. The only thing that I don't like, and I mean I understand why, because the logistics are really hard about it, but why do you have a fatal 4-way tag match with just 2 competitors in the ring?
Yeah, I never liked that part because
it doesn't make sense for you to tag your own partner out or to tag yourself to another team.
Right. What if your partner was in the ring and you tag yourself in for the other guy? So it's you versus your partner.
Or if you're going to do that, you have to make it always elimination.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah.
Because in that way, there's actually strategy in tagging yourself out, but but obviously I understand why they don't do that, because then you can't have an elimination match on Raw where you have a basically 1 hour long gauntlet match. So
yeah, they're not going to do that.
No. All right. So all right, let's go through that there, because the Revival win. Revival's going to face Roode and Gable next week. All is right with the world. They hit a Shatter Machine on Bo Dallas to end the match.
I bet you if they give them time, that would be a good match.
I hope so. I mean,
I don't know how it's going to be though, since it's taped and editing and blah blah blah. But
yeah. And then what happened to the Seth and Baron thing?
Yeah, Seth was taking responsibility for his shitty performance, which honestly, if you ask me, it's fine in the sense that he's been like the wrestler of the year. If you think about it, like he's like everyone he's faced, he's had a good match with, but he has one bad match, and all of a sudden everybody's like going crazy, And I think that's just a testament to how good he is, But
yeah, and I think like. I think Seth Rollins deserves a lot better than being on Raw right now.
Well, he can be on Raw. They just need to get rid of the stupidity of the show,
And by stupidity, you mean Brock Lesnar. But
that, and the terrible writing, and I don't know. I feel like if you've watched Seth wrestle this year, like he's had freaking banger matches like one after the other. But then he faces Dean. Maybe it plays into what you were saying about Dean just doesn't give a shit. Well, how often do you see Seth have a bad match? Against anyone. He could have a good. Yeah, I don't know. It's just odd that he has a bad match.
Well, I have a feeling we're going to see that tested, because I feel like he's going to be going up against Baron Corbin very soon.
Oh.
So, yeah, you got that forward to.
What a shitty thought, because they just Actually, that was a great match, but it was gimmicked, It was the TLC match on Raw. That was actually a really good match, I thought. But so yeah, Baron comes out and he's like, everybody thought I was doing a great job as GM, which was actually a funny line. That made me laugh. And then
until you came out.
Yeah, and then you egged me on into having a TLC match, and that's why, that's right. That's why everyone's against me, and yeah, everything Ambrose said about you is true. And
I would take your title, but oh wait, Dean already did that.
Yeah. So
which he left himself wide open for Seth to make a Money in the Bank joke, but I mean,
that's kind of old news,
Yeah, right. I wish that wrestling would kind of play back to that a little bit sometimes. Like go back to like a year ago, like give a little nod to the people who have been watching.
Right. Right. I agree. And then he punches him, and He just kind of punched him and then he just walked. Like he didn't really do much after the punch, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. All so right. then Ronda's coming back, and actually there was a funny moment on Hulu, because Hulu like posts Raw episodes, like condensed Raw episodes, and there was a when the commentator was hyping up the Ronda thing after commercial, Ronda's going to come out. The closed captioning for them saying the baddest woman on the planet, Ronda Rousey. For Hulu, the closed captioning, it said the fattest woman on the planet, Ronda Rousey. That's just unfortunate.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, that was her opponent. So,
yeah.
No, I'm sorry. No hate, please. No.
That's too far.
Yeah, right. And blocked. Yeah. So okay, so this was the main event. It was so basically Ronda comes out. She's talking. She's saying, "I want to be a fighting champion," and I kind of felt like she was taking digs at Brock. Do you think she was doing that?
Maybe a little, because she said that they should start a new tradition where you have the champ defend like the night after, but I don't know about that, to be honest. I don't know about that.
Part of me, I kind of hope it was. Yeah, I hope she was kind of like saying, hey, Brock, get your ass in here. But he's not going to give a shit.
He's not coming back.
Yeah, but yeah. So then she stated she's going to have an open challenge, and then cut to gorilla position, where every single woman on the roster is shrieking at the top of their lungs. I almost muted my television. That was that bad.
I didn't really think about it, to be honest.
Oh, and it was, and then of course, who had to wrangle them in? Stephanie McMahon.
As if they're fucking middle schoolers, and she's the principal, and they're like, "Follow me, everyone,"
And then she's going to ask that. She announces that there's going to be an 8. Was it 8 women?
I think it was 8 women. Yes.
A gauntlet match, and which was funny because you brought up the point that the entire Riot Squad came up there and was yelling, but Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan don't get to be in the match.
Yeah, that's weird, because I feel like if they were gonna do that, the match would be way too long. I guess I could have just jobbed them out in like 2 minutes, but then that kind of degrades their worth. As if, they don't care about that anyways, but even still. It probably makes more sense that they just had Ruby, but even still, I don't know. Why did they have them all shrieking as if they wanted a chance, but then they weren't going to be in the match anyways?
Exactly. And then, what about Tamina? What about Nia Jax?
Yeah, I thought, where was Tamina? I said that too. Nia at least makes sense to not be out there, since she just had a title match and she lost. I was like, fair enough. That she shouldn't get one because she just had one. I don't know, and then Tamina was nowhere to be seen, which was weird.
Okay, and then so they announced that it's going to be a gauntlet match, and they start off with Bayley and Alicia Fox. The other thing is, why do Bayley and Alicia Fox look so friggin' happy to be starting the match?
I don't know. Maybe they're just happy-go-lucky.
Obviously Bayley's always like, I'm gonna do the challenge, but Alicia Fox is a heel, and you think that Alicia would be pissed off because that's really diminishes her chance on winning the actual shot.
Right. Maybe they could have started out with 2 faces, because they're faces, they'll overcome all the odds, and they might not complain.
And then so I'm just gonna go quickly through this match. I'm not gonna go.
Yeah, this was a long match.
Yeah. So they start off with Bayley and Alicia. I feel like it was just kind of just standard. Bayley wins. So should she roll her up, or did she hit the Bayley to belly on her?
No, she pinned her with a crucifix, I believe.
Okay, gotcha. So so she beat her, and then
Dana Brooke came out to a mild freaking reaction.
And I would think that Vince would love Dana Brooke.
Why? Because she's blonde?
She's blonde and she's got gigantic ass muscles.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something else.
That too. No, but but yeah, so she beats Dana Brooke with the belly to belly, which was
Yeah.
funny because Dana Brooke dominated that entire match, and one belly to belly puts her away.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, we really think Dana was going to beat?
I don't think so, but I mean, like, I would have liked to see Bayley get a little bit more offense in there, rather than having to be like a lull Cena wins,
Yeah, that's true.
But, yeah,
and they went to commercial, and then they got back, and they announced Kevin Owens was returning. So pretty much just what I said about Sammy. I'm glad that they're coming. I'm glad that Kevin Owens had surgery on both of his knees, and he's already being advertised to come back. Like, damn.
And Sammy had surgery on both of his shoulders.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jeez, he's pulling
each other one of them.
He's pulling a Cena at Rumble 2008, where he's not supposed to be back for like months.
Yeah.
But so yeah, and then they gave Mickey a jobber entrance, so of course she beat Bayley.
I honestly don't understand why Mickey beat
Bayley. Maybe just so Ember could beat Mickey, so that Ember. I don't know. Would it be more for Ember if she beat Bayley?
That's what I would think, and maybe they're just trying to keep Mickey in our minds so that, because obviously I'm thinking there's no way that Natalya's beating Ronda. I mean, spoiler alert: Natalya wins the match. But
right.
Like, there's no way she's beating Ronda, and they're gonna have to. I think they're gonna have to have a little bit more to get Ronda to Mania, and it's gonna probably be Mickey.
Really? You think that's gonna be the next program after?
I'm thinking so because I mean, I don't think that they. I mean, I guess they could go with Ember Moon.
No, I think they're gonna go with Charlotte.
Really, you're gonna think?
I think it's gonna be Charlotte and Becky, because on SmackDown they were jaw jacking towards her, and I think the match at the Rumble is gonna be Ronda and Charlotte or whatever, and then Mania will be Ronda and Becky, and I mean that's what I speculate.
Okay.
Either way, I don't know what their plans are after Natalya, because there's no way she's beating Ronda unless she does. But yes, Mickey beats Bayley, and Ember Moon comes out, and it was just kind of Mickey James sells the Eclipse great.
Yeah, that was perfect, and like she kind of like did the little stumble, and then like finally fell down, and then like it was. She, I don't know, Mickey keeps going, and it's like she is a perfect like veteran to have on the roster,
Right.
To give legitimacy to some of these younger wrestlers like Ember Moon who need that rub without beating Ronda Rousey,
Right. I agree.
But then
Natalya came out.
Yeah. And then at this point, I'm like, Sasha Banks is winning.
I thought that too. I thought it's kind of, well, once she beat Ember, I thought that once it was Natalya and Ember, I thought, okay, it's still possible that Ember makes it, and it's going to be Ember getting the chance,
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see them go. I honestly didn't see them having Natalya.
You know what?
At least there's story to that. But then again, only 1 week of like build, like there's I don't know.
But we might see something where, Natalya. I mean, obviously Natalya's losing. Like, there's no way they're going to give the first loss for Ronda Rousey to Natalya on a fucking Raw. So,
well, it's Christmas Eve Raw too. Nobody's going to see it. Exactly. Even if it is taped, nobody's going to see it. And it's a title match. And not to mention, I saw pictures of the crowd of those tapings, and like no one was there, because who's gonna sit through 6 hours?
Yeah, even with it like WrestleMania, that's too much.
Right. That was too much.
Right, but, so let's just blow through the rest of this real quick.
Let's blow through this. Natalya beat Ember. She like rolled her up or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then Ruby Riott comes out and with the Riott Squad. So I thought, oh, so Liv and Sarah aren't. It was at this point I thought, all right, so that actually makes sense, because I looked at the clock and it was fucking like 20 minutes, not even maybe 20 minutes left in the show, and I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna happen. So
I think it makes the Riott Squad look like a bunch of doo-doo heads. They look so bad, and
they did look like idiots, didn't they?
And you know what? That seems to be the theme. And the thing is like, I'd like to see Ruby Riott not just the Riot Squad, but Ruby Riot and herself be more than just the stepping stone for mid card faces.
Yeah. Ruby's actually really good. Like
I agree. I think she's a really good wrestler, and
she's really good on the mic. She's really good in the ring because she's been doing it forever.
And the thing is that like they're how are you going to build up Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan if they're just going to be with this? Like, think about it. Like, Ruby's a loser in kayfabe.
Right.
In kayfabe, Ruby's a loser. And why are these two following her? Like,
that's a good point. And they're losers too.
Yeah.
Oh well. I don't know. Maybe they'll do something.
You need to have like those mid card faces, but have you noticed that like all the big people in the women's division are all faces? It's never like without Alexa Bliss around, there's no big heel
on Raw.
On Raw, I mean, you have Nia Jax, but
I actually thought the opposite. To tell you the truth, I thought there was like, well, obviously there's Ronda and she's the big face, and Natalya is kind of like, I don't want to say an afterthought, but nobody really thinks much of Natalya, even though she's actually really good. She's just kind of stale, Yeah, and Sasha and Bayley, I feel like they're still fan favorites, but nobody actually really cares about them, in my opinion. I honestly
keep forgetting Sasha and Bayley exist because they never give them anything to do.
Right, they were teasing. They keep teasing the women's tag champs, championships, which I don't know when they're going to bring them in, but I still don't have faith that they'll do it right because that women's roster is very small. It's not a big roster.
Like, do you think that? I mean, remember they're doing a women's rumble, and remember last year's women's rumble, but how many legends they had to bring in because women. I don't really even feel like they have more women now. Like
they could have. I thought it was kind of. Well, I mean, I actually liked the women's rumble, but I thought it was kind of dumb how they didn't utilize more NXT stars.
Yeah, why not? I mean, then.
Yeah, fucking Kelly gets to be in the match, and not like, Nikki Cross wasn't in it. I don't think.
Ember Moon. Oh no, Ember Moon wasn't it. Never mind.
Yeah, Ember wasn't. Yeah, she had a face off with Asuka. Didn't she eliminate? No, Asuka won it. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that's what happened. Asuka eliminated Ember and still established that Ember can't beat Asuka.
Yeah.
That was cool. Right. Anyways, actually, I thought Sasha and Natalya.
No, Ruby got rolled up.
Yeah, she got rolled up.
Which, I mean, like, if you're the Riot Squad, even right after Ruby gets rolled up, why don't you, like, if you're the heels, why didn't they go in and beat down Natalya? Like,
yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know. Maybe because Sasha's a face and they didn't want to assist a face. But who cares? You're a heel. Who gives a shit?
Why not have them beat her down, and then Sasha comes out to make the save. And Sasha looks good because she comes out to make the save. And then she lets Natalya get back to her feet like the face that she's supposed to be and has the one-on-one with Natalya there.
Maybe it would have came off as like they're still trying to do the Ruby and Natalya feud, but it looks like that's done.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Oh, well. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. And then Sasha and Natalya have a pretty good back and forth. There was this like where they were going from submission to submission where they were putting on a pretty good show.
Yeah, I thought for sure at this point Sasha's not losing this. They're doing Ronda and Sasha, and I was actually kind of excited for that match, because Sasha's great and Ronda's great, and I don't really like Sasha, but I appreciate how good of a wrestler she is.
Yeah, I mean, my feelings about Sasha Banks.
You hate her guts.
I am not a big fan of Sasha Banks, but you know what? I'll give credit where credit's due. Her and Natalya had a really good exchange back there. And so Natalya gets in the sharpshooter, and then eventually Sasha taps. Natalya is going to be facing Ronda Rousey for the title. And so that's where we end the show on Raw with. I thought Raw was pretty good. I didn't want to kill myself until the Dean Ambrose-Tyler Breeze match, but other than that,
I thought Raw was kind of meh. Like it had its moments.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it just felt like another Raw to me. I thought, the gauntlet was all right. Bayley was in that match for 21 minutes.
Was she really?
That match was like 50 minutes long, 51 minutes, and she was in it for like 21.
That's not bad. And you know what? Have you ever noticed that usually happens to Bayley in a gauntlet match? She's always number one.
Maybe Stephanie hates her. But she did say a couple years ago, or like a year ago, when Bayley was champ, that you're not a real champion or something like that. Maybe Stephanie's got a hate boner for Bayley.
All right, you wanna blow through SmackDown pretty quickly?
Sure. What quickly is kind of a strong word. I doubt that will happen.
Yeah, that's true. You know, I remember when I said I wanted to limit this to like an hour. That's not happening.
That's not happening.
And we've already blown right through that.
We might as well fucking, go all out.
Yeah, right. Okay, so we start off SmackDown. Do you have the
Shane?
Shane?
Yeah, Shane is like giving him a big pep talk, pretty much. And I didn't notice this the first time. I don't know why, but fucking New Day are standing next to Daniel Bryan eating meat, like, to him.
Are they really?
Did you see that? They have I don't know what they're eating. They're eating meat right next to him, and Big E was staring at him, and Daniel was staring at him, looking like, I'm gonna kill you or whatever.
See, the thing is, it's like, I understand what that image is supposed to mean, like in terms of like Shane talking to the locker room, but there are people in that locker room that should not be standing there and listening to Shane like he's some sort of messiah. Mainly Daniel Bryan, Samoa Joe, like any of these heels, Randy Orton.
Yeah.
They should not be looking up to Shane McMahon like he's fearless leader.
We got to give them a good show for the fans, but the heels hate the fans.
Exactly, especially Daniel Bryan, who's been going on and on about how much he thinks that these people are assholes because they eat meat. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Paige got the wrong end of the deal. Paige was actually a good general manager. Like, I don't like the general manager idea. It's fucking, like, overdone, and they need to I thought they should have, like, why can't they have general managers like William Regal on NXT? Well, he only shows up when he needs to, and he's good,
Yeah, and like, there could be like, think about it. Like, who made the matches in wrestling before there was a general manager? like there wasn't really there wasn't like, oh, this is the reason why you're having this match. It was just like, okay, we're a wrestling promotion, so you wrestle.
No, the network, the old TNA logic, I'm gonna get in contact with the network.
Oh Jesus! Please don't bring Jeff Jarrett into this.
Isn't that kind of a cop out? The network doesn't want us doing this, and the network this, and the network that.
And it's funny because then you make the network a heel.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sure USA would be thrilled if Vince McMahon said, "Well, the network doesn't want us to have blood anymore," and like.
Yeah. Well, they don't do that. I just thought it was funny how they did that in TNA all the time.
Oh my god.
And now TNA's dead, Impact is alive. But either way, Paige got screwed.
So she's no longer general manager?
No, it's the McMahon regime, as Corey and Cole and everyone talked. Like, do they have to call them regime, really? Regime has a negative connotation to it.
Yeah. Why not just like the McMahon
family?
Yeah.
They said family, but they also use regime a lot. Like, it's supposed to be like, yeah, we're supposed to be behind this, and you're using the word regime.
Yeah.
That's just a nitpick, but even still, it's a dumb freaking whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So then, so he gives the pep talk. Everyone's like, yeah, rah, rah, rah. Like there's some sort of weird rugby team or something like that. And then
they gave Paige a thank you, Paige chant. I thought, why didn't you just have her stay?
Yeah, right. Because what's she gonna do now?
She can't wrestle. Maybe she can be a manager.
Yeah, who would she manage? Would she maybe manage? Would Absolution get back together?
Yeah, maybe make them worth something.
Yeah.
Did you know that Absolution, Sonya and Mandy have only won together as a tag team? Since they got called up, moved over to SmackDown. Sorry, since they moved over to SmackDown, they've only won one match.
And I'm not surprised.
And that was like after WrestleMania. It's December.
Well, that's like when later on in the show when when the club comes out and they said that they haven't been on TV since August.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, technically that's not true. They've only been on TV since August in a match, I think, is what they meant. But they were actually on TV for some Survivor Series stuff because they were in that match, the tag team Survivor Series match. But I get what they were saying. They weren't doing anything,
Yeah. All right. So then, what did we start off SmackDown with? Was it
Becky came out and she said she doesn't care who's running the show because she's the man in charge, which was cool. She doesn't do meetings. She's in the ring where real business is conducted, and she wants Ronda Rousey, of course, and she's pretty much just calling out Ronda for costing her the title, and she called her a Roddy Piper cosplayer.
Well, I thought that was great.
Yeah, that was
thought that was amazing. And then
Charlotte came out,
and Charlotte came out looking like $1.5 million. I must say.
Yeah, she's a heel because she's wearing black eyeliner.
And then so I know she came out and she was talking oh, I would have won or something like that if it was for Ronda. And then Asuka comes out, gets a pretty good pop.
I'm surprised. I think the way they had Becky lose the title was actually really smart because it took attention away from the fact that it didn't take away attention from the fact that Asuka was winning the title from Becky, because I thought if Asuka was going to win, she'd get booed, which I don't want because she's a good guy,
Yeah.
Because Becky is so over that they'll just boo anyone. Like Charlotte. They tried to make Becky the heel and Charlotte the face, and that didn't work. So I was afraid that they were going to do that with Asuka if she won, but I'm glad that they handled it right, and Asuka's the face champ that's getting great cheers.
Yeah.
And I don't know. When they were telling Asuka that she didn't really beat them,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, they did. She did. She totally won,
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what Vince said when he came out. Vince was like, well, it is no DQ, that can happen. And I was like, yeah, he's right.
I'm actually really happy that Vince came out there and won the segment.
Well, yeah. When's the last time you've seen Vince in a women's segment?
Exactly, because it shows, even if Vince is obviously he's a misogynistic prick, but even if he is, just the fact that his presence there gives them legitimacy.
Yeah, it actually is making it mean something. Well, a segment with Becky Lynch and Asuka and Charlotte, and it probably means something nonetheless. But just Vince being out there adds to it,
Exactly.
And Naomi came out.
Yeah. Naomi, came out and she feels like she's been an afterthought ever since she won that Battle Royal.
I forgot about that.
She won that women's the Fabulous Moolah. I'm sorry, redacted Battle Royal.
The redacted Battle Royal.
Yeah, and so she had a really good match. There was no way in hell she was winning, but
they had a pretty good near fall, I thought. Yeah, also kicked out 2.7 or whatever.
Yeah, I think was that right after the rear end.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
The rear. Yeah, the ass move. Is that her finisher? Or is that the split-legged moonsault off the top?
No, that's her finisher. Is the rear end.
What a bad finisher. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't. That's a bad finisher.
Okay, so Asuka picks up the win. She gets her first title defense, and was there any shenanigans, or she just kind of like celebrating the ring? I don't think really.
Asuka was she gloated at she won and kind of.
Oh yeah, so she got her in the Asuka lock, and then there was a couple times where she had the Asuka lock, but she didn't lock it in, and then because I thought that Naomi tapped really fast.
Yeah, she had enough.
Yeah, but I feel like if they would have given us maybe about not even 5 seconds without her tapping, I think that would have been better because she had her in the Asuka lock a couple times, and
right.
Yeah, I don't know. That's my only gripe about that. It's a SmackDown title match, and it was basically just to give Asuka a nice win, a nice singles win.
And I'm glad that they're not teaming anymore.
Yeah, they're also.
That team sucked. And I like both of them, but that team was doing neither of them favors, if you ask me. They were just kind of there.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then after that, was that with the Miz? Is that the Miz who?
The Miz and Vince segment that was awesome. He comes out and he asks if Shane's around, and he's like, he made it sound like he was gay for Shane. He wants his blessing to be partners with Shane.
And then you could tell the look on Vince's face that he fucking wrote that segment.
Or yeah, probably. Yeah, that was funny. I thought you fucking making it seem like they're a gay partnership.
Yeah,
that's funny.
And then so then he's like, okay, so I'll maybe think about it if you win your match, and I'll find you a tag partner. And the entire time I'm texting Teebs, and I'm like, who's the partner? But he was a little bit ahead of me because I was at work. He already found out who it was, and he says it was. You said it was a fucking banger, right?
I said it was amazeballs, I think, sarcastically.
Oh, okay. And then I don't know if you guys know the particular GIF that I'm talking about, but it's Doc Rivers, the former coach of the LA Clippers. I think I use this GIF 5 times every day. But when we finally find out who it is, I think I sent that to him.
Yeah, because it's whatever. I mean, at least Mandy got some exposure, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, she got a win too.
Yeah, she won. Fucking finally, that's her first win. So she can't win a match with Sonya Deville, but she can win a match in a comedy match with Miz against Truth and Carmella. No, we'll get to that though. We'll get to that, I guess.
Yeah. What was next? Was that the Usos and
Rusev and Lana?
Rusev and Lana. Okay.
Backstage, and I gotta say, this was just like a short segment, but Rusev can really get the best out of the worst, because the dialogue he had was awful, but he's so good that he makes it funny and entertaining.
It's such a shame that he's married to Lana, because Vince punishes him for having an attractive wife. That's the reason, probably.
Yeah. Maybe. No, I don't know. I just don't think they see much in Rusev, but I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. So he was talking about Shinsuke Nakamura and how he wants to wrestle Shinsuke.
He's handsome. He's a hunk. He's got big biceps. Yeah, he said Shinsuke looks like Sonic the Hedgehog with his blue,
I liked that. That'd be funny.
He may run fast and far, but when he gets his hands on him, he'll take the U.S. title. Yeah, so that was whatever. I thought Rusev can make the best out of anything because that dialogue was bad, but he's so good,
Yeah.
And then Jeff Hardy comes out and calls Samoa Joe pretty much.
He's gonna get his apology.
So Samoa Joe wants to apologize. That's what the graphic said. I thought, yeah, okay. So I can't even be bothered to remember what Jeff said because it doesn't really matter in the end of it. But Samoa Joe comes out and he wants to apologize. And he says this is no apology, actually. And he calls out, of course, his demons, And,
yeah. And honestly, part of me is shocked that they're actually doing this storyline.
Yeah.
That's what Jeff was fired from WWE previously for.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit surprised. That and if you're going to have it with Samoa Joe, you can't not bring up Victory Road.
Oof, dude! If they bring up Victory Road, they're legends. Because they don't often bring up TNA.
Unless
there's the shit on.
You even do it, because the only thing that I could say, if Samoa Joe wasn't involved in that, so it was Sting and it was Eric Bischoff, and I guess you could bring back Bischoff for
No, you could still bring it up. I think.
True. Yeah.
Just,
I mean,
just,
look at
just
Edge and
like,
Christian show.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if anyone watched the Edge and Christian show after TLC, but they opened with a segment with Jeff Jarrett making a whole bunch of different jokes about TNA.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, because he was like, oh, see you guys. It was like something like, I can't wait to see all the total nonstop action. And then he was like, and guess what? I'll see you guys later. Nice to see you guys, you boys making an impact. Or something like that, and then it was a joke about TNA.
What if they actually can bring it up? Because what if Joe shows a clip of Victory Road? Because WWE are partnering with Impact in a way with the Global Wrestling Network.
Okay.
If you've watched documentaries on the network about like the Hardys, the deleted documentary they did about the Hardy Bros, they had clips of them in TNA because they're partnering with that app, whatever.
Oh, damn.
The Global Wrestling Network, which is just all of
actual footage of it. They might bring it up, but I don't think they're going to show footage.
Maybe if they do show it up, they have to have the Global Wrestling Network logo in the corner, like courtesy of, Yeah. So maybe, I don't know. I think that'd be really cool, actually, because
it would be cool, but I don't think that they're gonna not for that storyline.
Probably not. Not.
So what happens is Joe, he talks about that, and then he tries to leave the ring, and he's really telegraphed that he's gonna come in and try to attack Jeff. Jeff was ready for it, kicked him in the gut, gave him a twist of fate. And Joe kind of ran away with his tail between his legs.
He gave him a twist of hate, actually, which is just the stunner.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, it's called the twist of fate, but he used to do the twist of hate in TNA, which was pretty much just a stunner. It's because he has a bad back. That's why he sits on his ass. But you missed the best part when Jeff said that. Why are you so mad or whatever, Joe? Is it because you've been here for 2 years and haven't won one championship? So I guess Jeff doesn't watch NXT because he was NXT championship.
NXT's not canon.
Well, he said he's been here for 2 years, and if he means main roster, well, he wasn't here on the main roster for 2 years. So obviously he's including his NXT time.
Quick, go to commercial. No,
Yeah.
Okay. So then after that one,
this is when Miz came out.
Miz came out, and
Mandy Rose came out, and Corey Graves got a hard on, obviously, and
So then the Fabulous Truth come out, and I thought that R-Truth and Carmella were going to win.
Yeah, I thought so too, actually, because the whole gimmick has been Miz sucks, and he's been losing to Jobbers. Actually, he only lost to Jobbers once, and the other match they had with Jobbers, Shane actually won, and that's when Shane stunk up the joint because he's not very good,
Yeah.
And
then, I thought what was going to happen is Miz was going to have R-Truth right where he wants him, and then Mandy Rose was going to tag herself in or something stupid like that, where it wouldn't be the Miz's fault, but he'd still lose anyway.
Right.
Mandy Rose and the Miz get the win. We got a dance break in the middle of the match, like we always do. There was a moment there where I was a little bit worried that R-Truth was going to try to attack Mandy Rose.
Because he thought she was Maurice.
Yeah, well, that was amazing. That line was great. But no,
remember, it wasn't long ago when Truth mistook Carmella for Mandy Rose, or for Maurice, sorry, because she was blonde, and I think wasn't he semi-feuding with Miz or something like that?
I don't know. R-Truth is just an enigma. He's
a gift.
Oh my God, I can't wait till he shows up 30 in the Women's Rumble.
I'm fully expecting that. If he doesn't, I'm actually going to kind of be annoyed.
That, or he's either doing that, or he's going to be taken out by somebody who's coming number 30.
Right.
It's probably going to be like Tommaso Ciampa. He's the only guy I can really think of.
Maybe.
All right. So then after that was that the tag team segment after that, or
Yeah, Usos came out and they cut a promo.
yeah, they were talking about how they had a bone to pick with the Bar because they weren't the ones who got pinned. The New Day got pinned. So they called out the Bar, but then who was it that came out? It was
The Club.
The Club, yeah, the Club, the Good Brothers. They came out and then they were like, "Oh, we're gonna have a match," which I thought was weird because the ring announcer just goes, "We've gotten word that this is now a match," and I'm like, "Why not start the match?" Like
it has to be made official, I guess.
It's like that's where it was, but yeah. So then the Club actually they were did they win or were they like about?
No, it was I think no, the Usos were about to win, but then Sanity came out.
Yeah, and then no, actually, yeah. First, the Bar came out though. The Bar came out first, I think.
Did they? I thought Sanity came back and then the Bar came out.
Maybe you're right. Maybe it was the other way around. But yeah. So what happened was Sanity comes out and they clear house. They attack everybody. Then we have the Bar come out to kind of pick the bones and attack both the Usos and the Club. And then there's kind of like a stare down between Sanity and the
Bar.
The Bar, yeah. I was kind of disappointed that we didn't see the return of my tag team boys, the Ascension.
Well, they're on Raw.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
I never know where they are.
No, they had a program. You haven't been watching Raw, but they had a program with Rude and Gable where that fucking feud went. Well, I call it feud and asterisks, but that went on and on for weeks. And I thought, why?
And Ascension deserve much better.
Ascension, yeah, I don't know. They did, I don't know what they're going to do with anyone anymore. I'm glad Sanity got some TV time.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking they're setting up like a fatal 4-way tag team match. Again, I mean, I guess but this time with the Club, Sanity, the Bar, and Usos.
Yeah.
But then that leaves, what does the New Day do?
Maybe maybe Heavy Machinery will be called up to SmackDown.
Oh yeah, Heavy Machinery versus the New Day. That could be.
Well, those are two faces. I don't know if they want to do that.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, think about it though. Like almost all, like the only heels they have are Sanity and the Bar.
That's true, I guess. Yeah, that's true.
But okay. So then after that, was that the Daniel Bryan segment after that?
I think, yeah. He comes out and this dude this fan was holding up a sign saying this sign wasted paper, and Daniel Bryan looked annoyed. It was pretty much the same promo, except that he added some stuff about the city they were in, about how Fresno is the leading pollution city in California.
Yeah,
and they cheered that.
Yeah, what a pop for pollution.
Oh, that's what. Did you see the camera pan or cut to after he said that the camera panned and cut to a chick in the crowd after he said that, and she just put her hands up in the air like, well, whatever, like.
Yeah,
that's fun.
So my girlfriend brought that up too. She was like, "Did you see the look that girl gave?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." No, but yeah. So then he's cutting a promo. I can't wait to see his new belt. Because the rumors are he's getting a new belt. That's not.
Yeah, get rid of the leather.
Yeah, a new sustainable belt. And then Andrade comes out, right, with Zelina Vega.
Yeah,
because they're getting ready for their match.
I thought this was a good match.
Oh yeah, and then so then it was they were facing off against Mustafa Ali and AJ Styles. And I thought this was really good, and I want more of Mustafa Ali. And you know how much I love Mustafa. He's my boy.
Oh, he's one of my favorites.
He is amazing, and he's in the cruiserweight division, but you put him next to Bryan and you put him next to Styles and Almas. He looks like he belongs.
Well, it's actually confirmed that he's staying on SmackDown.
That's great. I love to see that.
Yeah, I think Corey confirmed that, but yeah, he's staying, and just imagine, like, I'm excited for Mustafa and Andrade one-on-one with time.
Yeah, yeah, and then think of all the other wrestlers he can just have great matches with that are on SmackDown, like Shinsuke Nakamura, like
Yeah,
him versus Shinsuke. You can get
Ray.
Ray, yeah, Ray, and Ali, and I thought this match was pretty good. Um, there was one moment where you know how Andrade does that thing in the rope and Selena gets on the
Yeah.
and AJ Styles fell face first onto Selena Vega.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, he fell right onto her, and you could tell she was kind of like she had the wind knocked out of her because she kind of rolled out of the ring.
That sucks.
Yeah, it was not. Yeah, because he went
Oh,
to attack. He went to go attack. No, because Ali, I think, did the plancha outside onto Brian, and AJ ran into Almas, and then when after he ran into Almas, he kind of fell onto Selena.
I noticed that Otunga, because Saxton was gone, I guess he's sick or something. So Otunga was filling in on commentary, and he goes after AJ kicks him out of the ropes. Otunga goes, "Tranquillo that," and Corey goes, "You can't tranquillo something. It's not a verb."
Apparently, I heard, I don't know if it was on Raw or SmackDown, but I heard somebody say that Otunga got yelled at pretty bad because he said something, and Michael Cole, it was either Cole or Graves or somebody
or
said,
Tom Phillips, you mean?
Oh yeah, Tom Phillips, yeah, said, "What are you even talking about?" Like, and it was something that was like.
I can't remember.
Yeah, but it was apparently like Otunga didn't speak until the very end of the match after that point. I don't remember when it was.
Really?
But I know that for some time, like one time this week, he got screamed at apparently.
During the SmackDown episode.
It was either during SmackDown. Oh, was he on Raw or no? He wasn't on Raw, so it must have been during SmackDown.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was during TLC.
Well, he's on the pre-show panel. Yeah.
But yeah, so
there was a moment when it wasn't. I don't know.
I tune out a lot of the commentary because a lot of it's just ridiculous.
He said, I looked up on Twitter some. I'm trying to look up some quotes or whatever. Oh yeah, I remember when Tom Phillips. I forgot about this. Tom Phillips at TLC confused Otunga for Saxton. And Otunga and Graves just kind of look at Phillips like, "Are you serious?" or whatever.
Whoops.
That's all right. They're pretty much the same person, to be honest. They're both kind of lame, and
they both. At least Otunga knows how to dress.
Like that's. Yeah, I guess so. He looks more trendy than Saxton.
Oh yeah. Oh, Otunga looks like that guy that like he's in the library, but he's in the library to be seen by nerdy chicks. He's not there to do any. He's not there to do anything, school related. He's there to pick up on the nerdy chicks.
Especially since him and Jennifer Hudson are getting divorced.
Yeah, oh, man, I'm surprised that the Otunga still has a job because that's probably why they were keeping him around.
Yeah. Well, I gotta mention something about Mustafa though during this match. He botched like twice during the latter parts of this match. Yeah, the one on the steps, but he recovered so well that it like wasn't too bad of a botch, Like Andrade caught him and Mustafa recovered well, and it wasn't too bad. But the second botch was the finish where he did the 054, and I didn't notice this first watch. I noticed a little bit how the landing wasn't as normal as it usually is. But when he landed, I guess like his knees connected with Brian's chest, like he landed on his chest with his knees and like stiffed him that way, and you could hear Mustafa go, "Sorry, Daniel," like the camera was like close to him, so you can hear him go, "Sorry, Daniel."
Oh, damn it!
And so he's getting buried. No,
right.
I hope not, because it was probably Brian's idea to do it anyways. I'm glad that Mustafa got the pin because
that was perfect. Honestly, like Mustafa needed to pin more than AJ did.
Right. And if AJ pinned Bryan like again after they just had a match and a feud, like I mean, it looks like they're continuing that feud. But if AJ had just pinned him, right after that, I don't know. I'm glad Mustafa got the pin.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm really excited for Mustafa Ali because I mean, like, I love watching him, but I don't love watching 205 Live. So
it's actually a good show. You're missing out.
Yeah, I know. There's only so much wrestling I can watch at once, though.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's it for SmackDown. I think we should just probably keep it to the recaps because we did take a long time for that.
Probably, yeah. I thought, SmackDown was probably the better show this week, all around. Raw was kind of meh. It was just another show, and SmackDown was actually good, I thought.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I legitimately popped for the main event of SmackDown. The main event of Raw was pretty good. I mean, but you had to get through a lot of crap to get to the good stuff in the main event.
Right.
So, yeah, but I think I agree with you. I think SmackDown is the better show this week, and I'm not looking forward to watching pre-taped vignettes on.
I'm not looking forward because we got spoiled for what the main event of Raw is.
Yeah, we did.
I'm not looking.
We got spoiled of one thing that happens on SmackDown. So
right. I'm not looking forward to. I'm actually less annoyed that I got spoiled for SmackDown and more annoyed that what we're gonna see for Raw in the main event because it's just illogical. I'm not gonna obviously for the like 0 people that are watching this. I'm not gonna say what happened, but
yeah. All right. Well, I think that's all that we have for this week of the Fortune Teller Show. For the week of Raw on 12/17 and SmackDown on 12/18 of 2018. We'll be back next week with the Christmas edition. So we know we're going to get a Miracle on 34th Street fight on Raw, and a women's championship match. And on SmackDown, we know we're getting a United States Championship match. So
good stuff.
Yeah.
Good pilot.
All right. Yeah. All right. So we'll see you guys next week.
Goodbye.